You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.
This is Dave once again from the Wolves Den saying, Happy Tuesday. It's time for AIR Radio. And Jennifer Hillman will be back in just a few minutes with her guest.
Hi, everybody. This is a late start, but this is Abstract Illusions Radio. And today's guest is a wonderful healer, a good friend, and Dave, wow, where do I start with you? You're just amazing, and you have this wonderful adventure of healing within yourself to help your soulmate. So it's a giant love story. And I've known Talia for a long time, about 10 years actually. So we've crossed paths, and I knew you guys when you guys were just getting together, and it's just been this beautiful thing unfolding, and things are just crumbling and opening at the same time.
Yeah, well, you say it's a wonderful journey. It has been hell. It has not been wonderful to go through, except the aspect of love. We have such big love, and that has been so magical, so amazing. However, I would never consciously choose this journey. It has sucked in a very big way. It really has been full of pain and hardship. But thank you for your kind words. So what do you want to ask?
Well, the reason why I said it's beautiful is because of the love aspect. No matter what is thrown at you guys, you just love. You get through the best you can. You know that, we all make conscious choices. You guys are both extremely powerful healers. You know how to do this stuff. Why do you think this all came together? Why the challenge of finding this beautiful relationship? And Talia is this beautiful person who has, I'm going to say had, cancer that nearly killed her.
Yeah.
You alone had a lot of crap you went through. And together you're still going through, and yet you're still giving. You're still loving.
Yes.
Was that the big lesson of it all? Just
you
love whatever gets thrown at you?
You have a different belief system than I. I don't believe that there's a reason for any of this.
Okay.
I don't. I don't think I can make it mean anything I want, but inherently I do not have a belief system that says this happened for a reason and there is some divine, mystical thing I was supposed to get. So I'll just start with that. But I have chosen to love this woman completely and fully, unreservedly, in a way that I've never experienced. It's called Bhakti devotion. I'm very devoted to her, and that I have chosen. So if there's some mystical, divine reason for all this, great. I don't believe there is. But I don't take that away from you as a belief. And Talia believes there's many mystical reasons, and great. We just have different beliefs.
Well, it's just that generally if something crappy happens, and I've had a lot of crappy things, they generally show me this little film of exactly when I asked for what happened. And it was the wording, maybe the energy I put to it, or maybe the slight doubt or angst that I put to it after I put it out there, that things got really mucky and very ugly. And in many ways, have shut me down, in many ways. And I understand that it's my mindset that can get over anything. And it's my mindset that created this. And it's taking that responsibility. And I've forgiven myself.
Powerful belief. That's a powerful belief. The belief you have that your mindset creates this has consequences. There are no true or false beliefs. You have a belief that your mindset is powerful. Well, if you truly believe that, which it sounds like you do, then you've got the consequences that obviously are helpful to you. Yay for you. However, I don't believe that mindset, that your belief is actually true. It's just what you are accepting, whether you chose that belief or not, and that helps you. Yay for you. I wish everyone chose helpful beliefs and really, really saw and really looked for what are their beliefs, because most people do not know what their beliefs are. They were given to them by society, by their parents, by primary caregivers and teachers, and the beliefs are running their lives. They're not true or false, but people actually think what they believe is true and don't even question most of the time what their beliefs are.
Well, for me, it's what you know and what you believe, and they're two different things. Belief can change. For me, you can change a belief, but if it's a knowledge and a knowing, it becomes a truth for you.
Right.
And do my beliefs change once in a while? Sure they do. Sure. But and I think that's why I agree with it. There is no right or wrong belief. They just are. And the stronger you hold to it, the more it's going to influence your existence, your journey, your thought patterns, and the way things are going. So with that, I mean, basically, what do you go by then? What is your belief system that keeps you going with all the crap that's going on?
Within your question, you have beliefs in and of themselves. What keeps me going? As if I need any belief to keep me going. So there's a presumption within your very question, which I love the question, but there's a presumption that, I need something to keep me going. So I'll answer the question. My main cosmology, which is my underlying belief, is we all have a magnificent essence that we come into life with. This amazing beingness. But even in the womb, this gets covered up by all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of actions by our mother, even within the womb. And very quickly, this magnificent essence is covered up by all kinds of beliefs that we did not choose and all kinds of experiences. And most of the work that I have seen needs to be done for anyone's healing and for someone to reclaim their magic and fall in love with life and magic again is all about resistance and acceptance. In other words, most people are resisting their magnificent essence, unbeknownst to them, and all the work that I have come across that I need to do to help people is simply point out how they resist and show them ways, experientially, to have them stop resisting and just accept their truth in the moment of where they're at, which changes from moment to moment.
Exactly.
So that is my underlying cosmology, set of beliefs. So with this entire process of my own hell, my dark night of the soul, which I've just come out the other side, my whole process of what's kept me going has been loving Talia. And I knew at an early age, at age 17, I had two purposes. One was to love and be loved, and the other one was to be all that I could be, develop my potential and help others do that. Well, it's come down to that faded away. To help others, I couldn't even help myself for the most part, so I fell back on my other purpose, which is to love and be loved. And that is what has gotten me through. And it was my choice to believe that and to accept that, because that had to me, it's one of the most powerful beliefs for me that helps me everywhere in life, to love and be loved. But it was my choice, and I want to make that distinction. There's no divine order in my life that I know of, and I might be resisting some truth there, okay, because you might have it right on the money, Jennifer. But that's what got me through, my love.
Well, it's really interesting. I mean, In 2003, I had a car accident. And this is going to confirm one of your purposes. And as I went to the other side, all I heard is, you are loved and loved. Do not forget that. And then they threw me back in the car and going, huh? Why am I coming back here? Please explain. So it got the feeling of this incredible love that's undescribable.
Wow. I love hearing that. I wish upon every soul that they have that experience of loving and being loved, Jennifer. I'm so happy to hear you had that experience.
And it was wonderful, but at the same time, coming back on this plane, not so much, you know, and there's the conflict. I know how it can be, ought to be, truly is to be. And then you come over here and like you said, it's hell. And that conflict has really played a number on me in many ways. I do my best. I do my best work helping others. It's like I've let go of and I just say, I'm here to help and inspire people, help them be their highest potential. So be it. I love doing that.
Yeah.
But then,
well, it sounds like you've got places of resistance.
Oh, yeah, I know I do.
That you resist, and like we all do. Yeah.
And it's interesting, as some people know, my whole left arm, my shoulder, my arm, and it's been messed with. So my receiving side is where all my resistance is, physically. And I'm working on Ho'oponopono. I'm trying to reset my mindset to let go of that resistance. But I know I got a lot of it.
Jennifer, I got a question for you.
Please.
What do you think? Because I'd love to be in service to you and your listeners. What do you think that they would like? They'd want to know or hear a perspective of. Not that I just have perspectives. I don't have truth for them, but I do have some perspectives that might help them resist less of their own magnificent essence.
Well, that's a good question. What is the best way to stop the resistance, or the best way to recognize the resistance and where the area is of the resistance?
Easy. Wherever there is pain in your life, whether it's your body, relationships, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, wherever there is pain, there is resistance, period. Our natural state of being, when we accept our magnificent essence, is not pain. We should have a ton of pleasure in our body, a ton of pleasure and love everywhere in our life. So wherever there is pain, easy, there's resistance. Someone could talk to me in a very quick, short amount of time. I could help them get within 10 to 20 minutes of their core life issue that they are resisting. Because all I have to do is just seek out where there's pain. You've got pain all over your life. I could now we could go into it if you want to process that, or we could open up to your listeners, of anyone who wants to deal with something in their life, resistance.
Well, if anybody wants to call in, they are welcome to call in.
Let me put it. Go ahead. I could put out a challenge. If there's anyone out there listening that has something in their life that doesn't work for them, and they tried anything and everything to change it, try me. You haven't tried me yet.
Well, hey, I'm open and I'm game. So,
all right. So what do you want to change in your life? What's not? All right, great. So you
pick an area.
Signed on with me. No, I'm not going to pick the area because this is a contract.
Okay.
But let me say a couple things.
Okay.
Whenever I work with anyone, there's a contract. You have to take responsibility 100% for what it is you want to work with. So I ask you, what in your life doesn't work that right now you're willing to explore to change?
Physical. The shoulder.
Okay. And just give me a couple of the symptoms that manifest right now with your shoulder. Which one? Left, right?
It's my left shoulder, my receiving
right.
side, and there's limited motion with my shoulder, and it at times radiates pain down my arm, and it affects my elbow as well.
All right. So are you sitting right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So if you would close your eyes and take a deep breath, and you're going to be doing a lot of breathing, deep breath, deep into your lower abdomen, because it's very hard to resist when we're breathing fully. Almost everyone that I come across in life is certainly not breathing fully. So it's very easy to just work with breath and see resistance all over someone's body, psyche, soul. So as you're breathing deep into your lower abdomen, I want you to be aware of the sensations in your left arm, and we're going to work with what I call the pain-pleasure scale. -10, you're in so much pain, you need morphine now, or you're going to hit someone. Most excruciating pain. And +10 is it's orgasmic. It's the greatest physical pleasure you've ever experienced and could imagine.
Okay.
So where are you at right now in your left shoulder? Plus
and
minus.
Minus, I would say 4 to 5.
Okay, great. -4 to 5. So I want you to breathe into that area and actually massage that area, not physically, but with your breath. So you imagine that the breath is massaging. And I want you to, how long has this pain been with you?
Since June.
That's it, just since June?
Originally, it happened back in 2003, actually, after my car accident. And then it vanished. It has not bothered me since June.
Okay, so just since June. This is a relatively short-term friend. So I'd like you to actually say to it, hello, my short-term companion.
Hello, my short-term companion.
Why I'm having you say that is most people want to get rid of the pain, and that's the problem. People want to get rid of some issue in their life, some pain, and they run away from it. What I teach is the opposite, which is to run towards your fear, run towards your pain. And behind any physical pain is a set of emotional, psychological, soul issues that are there. They manifest in our body, but they originate in the psyche, and some would say even in the soul. So good for you that it's only been short-term. I doubt it has been, but we're working with it as if it's a short-term friend. Anything come up for you when you acknowledge that it's a friend? You're like, yeah, F you, Dave?
No, basically, I want to understand this friend because I know it's letting me know there's a deeper issue that I'm trying to ignore, that I am resisting.
Okay. Good. Well, you're ahead of the game for most people. They don't want to acknowledge anything about their, friend. They don't consider it a friend, and they just want to get rid of it. So good for you. So at this point, I'm going to have you do a few things, and you even have to say out loud. So I'm going to run you through a few things that helps you go into it deeper. And some listeners out there might recognize this. I use all kinds of different modalities to just come into a state of acceptance. So what color is it?
Actually, I see it a rich, dark purple.
Great. And
it's mucky.
What temperature is it? Okay, good.
It's a little mucky. 98 degrees.
Warm, cool room temperature?
I'd say it's warm.
Warm? Uh-huh.
Warm.
Good. What sound does it make if it can make a sound?
Sissing. Like a snake hissing.
All right. And if anyone's listening to this, you can follow along and do this yourself. So for you, Jennifer, I want you to make that sound as if you were that in your left shoulder. Make that sound 3 times. Good. What's going on right now in you? Any emotions? What?
A build-up of emotions beginning, like a little bit of tearing in my eyes, but I also heard really strongly warning.
Good. So what are you making that mean, that you heard warning?
Like something worse is about to happen, and this is just a heads up.
Okay. Yeah. So are you now wanting to stop this process, or are you okay continuing?
I'm okay continuing.
Okay. Great. So where is it at on the pain-pleasure scale right now? Breathe into the area.
Believe it or not, I'm seeing +1.
Okay, good. So you've already gotten some relief. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Not everyone does. It can get worse before it gets better, as they say. All right. So what color is it now?
Again, kind of a smoky blue.
Good. Texture.
Light blue. Texture. It's pretty smooth. Almost glossy. Okay. It's like, glossy.
Great. Wait.
I'm getting like a medium heavy.
Great.
It's like, it's between, let me put it this way. It's like between an 8 and 10 pound weight.
Great. So allow it to be heavy. Allow it to get even heavier. And as you do that, if it had words, what would it say to the world right now? Just a sentence at most. What would it say?
I hate being so heavy.
Good. So I'd like you to say that one time out loud, how it would say it.
I hate being so heavy.
All right, say it again.
I hate being so heavy.
Good. Pain-pleasure scale.
I'm actually getting a giggling feeling in my throat. A +3.
Good. So I'd like you to let that giggling feeling out. Actually give it expression.
Okay.
Yeah, again. Go ahead. Give it more expression. Good. Let it out, Jennifer. Your throat chakra is a little closed, so just let it open up.
Oh, yeah. It's very slow.
Yeah. And notice what's happening in your left shoulder. It might be expanding or contracting, so what's happening?
It's contracting.
Okay. Where is it on the pain-pleasure scale?
Still about a +3.
Okay. All right, so we can keep going further, but what I want to point out to you and anyone listening here is that for you were able to come into a greater place of acceptance with this, and what I have seen thousands of times is anytime, whatever the issue is, this could be a very deep issue, a deep pain. Someone could have a dis-ease in their body. I've worked with someone with cancer, brain cancer, and this man was 17 or 18 at the time, and when I did this with him, for the first time in his life, he didn't have any pain because he had been resisting something huge in his life. So usually, whatever someone's resisting actually has been around for a lot longer than a month or two. And It goes very deep into their soul and psyche. And you were able to fairly quickly come into a state of acceptance, greater acceptance at least. Now, if we kept going with this, it would go into other areas of your body probably. And because right now this is a manifestation on a more what's called a growth level, not like a fine level. In other words, this happened in the year 2000, and I'll bet that it's connected to something very deep within your soul and psyche. It can be a minor thing, but what I have found is that whatever we resist really sucks energy from our magnificent essence. We have a ton of energy. We have so much, but whatever we resist covers that up, and it takes energy. So most of us are walking around, instead of 1,000 units of energy that we have in our essence, we have so much layering on top of our essence, we have 10 units, 20 units left to use to do whatever, which for most of us is survival.
So let me ask you a question about making it more a physical entity in a way, with the color, the weight, the sound. Is that something that helps more acceptance of it, or more acknowledgement of?
More acceptance. There's different ways to have people go into a greater state of acceptance of whatever it is. But again, this is the opposite of conventional wisdom, which isn't so wise, which is run away from your pain. Almost all of our methodologies out there of personal growth, healing, and transformation are built upon a flawed premise that we try to get rid of whatever it is we want to change.
Right.
That's the problem. Almost all growth, transformation, healing that exists that I've come across has that flawed premise. And that's why, a lot of things out there, like Anthony Robbins, he's an amazing man. He's manifested a lot. But I'll tell you, there's a flawed premise that he operates on. A lot of what he does is to hype people, psych them up, pump them up, and it's this whole energy of got to get your fix. You got to positive think your way through. Positive thinking has wonderful aspects of it, but it does more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to repeat that. And I have a little anger about that. It does more harm than good because it takes us away from our own acceptance. We start learning programmed resistance, and that's what most of the programs out there and healing methodologies, it's about programmed resistance. And we don't even know it. So we actually have a whole layer on top of more layers.
Right.
So if someone came to me and I've had people do that. I've had Buddhists come to me who are meditating. One of the first things I tell them, stop meditating. It has been scientifically proven that if you're doing 45 minutes or more of meditation a day, you're doping yourself up. It's stopping you from feeling. Mm-hmm. And I have seen people use meditation to try to get away from their pain. They're bastardizing something beautiful out there, a wisdom tradition of meditation. Buddhism, in particular, really, emphasizes meditation as a path. But almost all the people I've come across who meditate more than 45 minutes are resisting. And they're very dysfunctional in their life, if you look. They can have all this equanimity, or so they say, and all this peace, but their lives are a mess because they are resisting, and they're using meditation to dope themselves up with all kinds of biochemicals. So my point is almost all stuff out there, not all, but most of it, teaches resistance, and that's the problem.
Right. And I have a resistance. It's like I have a resistance within, as you said, the family. It's like my mom just said, just let it go, and it will, deal with it and just let it go. Don't speak.
Let it go. No.
If you're angry,
you can't
don't
let
say
it go.
And it's like my dad said one time, don't yell at me. And I said, I'm angry, and I'm not going to hold it in. I'm going to let you know exactly how I feel. Boy, he stepped back and said, oh, really?
Yeah. So the whole thing of letting go is very problematic, so problematic, because basically what happens when people are letting go, I'll use this analogy, there is you're making coffee, you're boiling water in a kettle, you have it on a flame, and it's whistling. What most people mean by letting it go is called release, where they actually just open up the cap that's whistling. Meanwhile, the water's still boiling.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about letting go is more referred to discharge and body-centered modalities, where you take the kettle off the flame or you turn off the flame. Most people out there, like in the Course of Miracles, here you go, guys. Most of you, this is a big statement, and I'm putting it out there consciously. most of the Course in Miracles is not discharging. They're using affirmations and only looking at the positive and denying shadow, that which they don't want to deal with. They're basically getting into release, but they still have not dealt with the flame. So if they have anger, they do cancel, 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 love, only go into love. Everything is either love or fear. And it's like, hey, guys, you have something real that's happening in your body, in your psyche, that's been shown in your body, and you're trying to use your mind to override what is coming from your body. Your body tells truth always. Categorically, it always tells the truth. But the mind will trick us from time to time, and we don't know when it's tricking us. And that whole thing of cancel, or, I'm only going to think positively, it might give them temporary relief, but it does not deal with the underlying thing they're resisting.
And it's not being real.
Oh, it's something very real, and they'll go to the grave with it, living miserable lives if they don't deal with that flame. Now, it might be a small flame, so they'll be functional, but they don't really know how it's affecting them. Or it could be something really big that really affects them and makes them quite dysfunctional. Either way, well, who wants to just be functional? Who wants to just survive or cope? Whatever happened to thriving? Whatever happened to be so joyous that every moment is exquisite and there's pleasure? I don't get to experience that much, but my God, the more I experience it, the more I want it. But I would have never gotten to this place where I can actually have some moments of exquisite pleasure, if I was always doing the positive thinking road, or everything is either love or fear. It's like, well, if it is fear, let's go into the fear. The body is giving you energy, and there is fear to deal with some potential threat. Well, dang it, the body has some wisdom. What's it saying? Instead of canceling out with the head.
Yeah, I do a lot of... Now, let's go into that, okay? I tend to do writing, to write out what my body is saying to me. Or I will have a conversation with myself, which most people think I'm nuts, but I like to go into myself and say, okay, what is this about? And if it's being silent, as you said, I have been stifled all my life from speaking my truth for so long. Even when I do it, people walk away because they don't want to hear it. So my throat chakra has been...
I get that, Jennifer. I hear it in your throat. I actually can hear the blocks in your throat. It's coming through in your voice loud and clear. You're holding a lot of resistance in your throat. You should have chosen that instead of your shoulder. That's your big life issue. You know that?
Yes. Actually, I do.
So why didn't you choose that? Why didn't you speak up and say, hey, I want to deal with not what's bothering me a little bit in my left shoulder, for the past couple months. Why didn't you? I'm having fun with you here, so hold on.
I know.
Why didn't you choose your big life issue? Because you've got an opportunity that you may never get again, or it might only come by, once a year or two. I'm giving you the opportunity to actually take on your life issue right now.
I think the most...
So what held you back?
The fact that I physically feel, it's like the throat has been around so long, it's almost like numb, where I physically feel the shoulder. So I didn't get the throat till after we started the shoulder, and it's like, oh, I really should have done that. Oh.
Beautiful. So I want to point out, because this is a little magic moment, that we dealt with a little manifestation, a side symptom of your life issue.
Yes.
Okay, in your shoulder. And then you got aware that you were numb. So you realized you were numb, which in and of itself is some greater acceptance that your big issue is in your throat, and it's been with you almost your whole life.
Yes.
Right? All right. Awesome. And this is what happens. We are so numb, we're not even aware anymore that we became numb. It's like frostbite. You don't even know you're frostbit until you all of a sudden start to get a little bit of warmth in your body, and then you start feeling, oh my gosh, I can't feel. Most of us are walking around unaware of how numb we are. in so many places in our body and our psyche, emotionally and in our souls. We just don't know until you start to thaw out. So I have seen time and time again, whenever I work with anyone, that whatever small symptom they have me work with very quickly will go into their life issue, and it happened right there.
Well, it also, I felt it in my solar plexus, so it is me not speaking my truth, and it's going hoarse now. It affects my true power. So,
yes, it does, Jennifer. Yeah, you're a woman of power. Someone recently told me that you are a woman of power, but yes, you hold it back. So I'm going to have to get going soon. But
I understand that.
But what I think would be awesome, Jennifer, is for us to have your listeners listen in next time, and you can prepare yourself in whatever way to just have the space and time to let's take this on if you're willing. I'm not going to have you do anything. You are. You're awesome.
I am so willing.
I get that. Let's take on your personal power and voice and work with that, because that's what I want to be in service to you, because I want your power to shine and come out.
Sounds like a great thing.
And
because I know you need. We keep stumbling over each other. I know you need to get going, but I wanted to make sure that people know your website and how to get in touch with you if they wish you to help them.
Yeah. Right now, they can contact, theparadoxcure.com or paradoxcure.com. You can go to my website and read. Next time that we meet, whether it's, in a week or two, I will have some things for your listeners that they can do. Right now, the thing that I think people could do is read some of my I call them foundational scrolls. In other words, pieces of information that have a perspective, so people can, if they read it, that they will start to unravel some of the numbness they've had around their beliefs, whatever their beliefs are, and start to drop into the experience of living. It's all about the experience of living, not understanding life, but living life.
And participating.
Participating is feeling and experiencing. The participation becomes easy when we experience our bodies. When we experience our bodies fully, especially our sexuality, that's one of the most attacked and most numb places in American culture. When we can start to experience our bodies, our desire comes up. That's where our life purpose is, in our desire. How many people hate their jobs? Over 80%? Because people are numb to their bodies. They are numb to their magnificent essence. They're resisting it. So pretty much anything anyone wants in this life comes down to accept your essence, accept your body. It starts with the body and ends with the body, of experiencing the body. Access to the spiritual dimensions, access to divinity, and whatever else exists, it is all through whatever we are in this body. So if they read stuff on my website, they can start to get where I'm coming from, and they can explore for themselves if there's any truth for them in this. What I'm saying isn't truth. It's my perspective.
Right.
However, I'll tell you, if they start reading it and they start getting tears and they start getting any kind of emotion coming up, whether it's anger or fear, just know we're on to something. Truth,
right.
If anyone speaks something that has truth in it for someone else, emotion becomes present, just like that. So that's an indicator. If there is,
No, go on. It's an indicator.
It's an indicator that it's truth for them, that there's some truth in it. If I say something and you start getting emotional, obviously there's truth in it for you that you're actually resisting. And that's the thing. Emotion comes up because we are resisting something about ourselves that the other person is mirroring in what is being said.
I found I didn't even get through everything because you have a huge amount of information, my dear friend.
Yeah, I will pare it down at some point.
Oh my God. Don't. Yeah. It's all great. Don't touch it. Just
but my message gets lost, and I need to pare down. But for now,
it's great.
Read up what you can. Thank you, and I will have something for your listeners, a little more concise, and some ways that they can next step things they can do.
Next step. I look forward to having you back on, and safe travels to you and Talia. Big hug to both of you. You guys are awesome. Great appreciation for both of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jennifer. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So we are going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back. This is Wolf Spirit Radio, and Jennifer Hellman with Abstract Illusion Radio. We'll be right back. Again, we live on donations here, so any donations are greatly appreciated. We love having you here and speaking information that's going to help you have even more joy and love in your life and acceptance of your magnificence. So we will be right back. Thank you again to Dave. We will continue soon.